So here we are at Build a Rocking Chair, episode 4. So for this episode, we're taking a break from cutting out pieces and parts of our chair because now we need to make some forms and some jigs. All right, so from Hal's plan, we need to create the form. I'll turn it this way. The form for our back braces, and so this is the one I've done here, and then I have started on what will be the backer. So when we laminate our pieces for the back brace, my clamps will actually engage the backer and not leave all these little divots in my workpiece. All right, so I've got some more to add to this, but that's where I've started. Okay, so Hal provides the template, which gives you the shape. Obviously, this is the bottom. That's the bottom, working our way up to the top. In creating this, initially I did it with MDF, and I was trying to sand this smooth in the MDF. Well, that stuff's nasty, and I abandoned that really fast. So when I was buying my material, the walnut and the ash for the back braces, I went ahead and just bought a full 8/4 stack, one so that I could have my quarter sawn pieces for the back braces, but also because of its price, relatively inexpensive. I don't remember, what did I pay for this? $4.50 a board foot. Wasn't too terribly expensive, but that's what I'm using to build my forms. It gave me the thickness that I wanted. I milled this down, so our back braces are going to be 1 7/16 finished, and the rockers will be 1 9/16 finished. When I milled this, I milled it down 1 7/8, but it doesn't have to be that wide. It could be a little bit narrower. I think Hal says 1.5 inches for the back brace. So anyway, and then next for the holes, there's no pattern for this. So what I did, I simply took my compass and just 2 inches. I went 2 inches to the top of the hole. That gives me plenty of meat here for clamping force. And I just followed my shape around. So the top edge of each hole was 2 inches from the leading edge. Now the bottom edge here is a little shallow, and this was a kind of a cutoff piece. So I added a couple of, we'll call them cleats down here at the bottom. And this allows it to engage in my vise without interfering with the clamp heads right through here when I apply my clamps. Here on the back side, or the front, however you want to look at it. So this is pieces. I bought one piece of 1-inch aluminum channel, and I cut them into 6-inch strips. And just following the picture in the book, just kind of roughed them out. Right, the intent here is just to give us something to clamp to this way, so that we can keep all of our laminations flat and square along this edge, so they're nice and straight as they dry. And then lengthwise, I ran mine a little bit long, but well, on the bottom I'm about 1/2 inch long, but I marked it right in accordance with the template. I marked the bottom, and then up at the top I marked the various lengths depending on the size of chair that we're going to be making. All right. So again, that's in accordance with the plan and the guidance given. Now I'm working on doing the same thing for the rocker form. Okay, so over here at the vise, this is the form that I'm making for the rockers. Another chunk of that same piece of ash. Dimensionally, right? We need 10 inches on the ends, and then your middle. Pull that out. The thickness here. House got 6-inch minimum thickness. All right. Well, as you can see, I don't have. This is not 6 inches. This is like 3. That's okay. What I'm doing, what I'm going to do, the negative, I believe was this one. Yeah. Here's what I did. So I cut this out on the bandsaw, right? Took the form, killed a mosquito. Took the form or the template, laid it on the piece. I drew out the curve, took it over to the bandsaw, cut it out on the bandsaw. I then brought both pieces back here to the bench, and I think I measured, I kind of eyeballed about 13 inches, and then I cut these off. Now, this does a couple of things for us. If you are going to go after the sandpaper method, smoothing this out, well, you've got your shape, right? For the center, over here, however you like. I am using a spokeshave, and I'll show you that in a second. But more importantly, my point here, I needed 6 inches in that center section. Well, I'm maintaining this piece, and I'm simply going to laminate it to the bottom here, which will give me the depth that I need. Once I'm done shaping and smoothing the curve, I can then take these, turn them around, square it off, and attach it, or just take one more piece, this cut off, chop those off and fill that back up so that I've got plenty of meat here and lots of clamping surface area. It'll fit neatly in my vise. La-di-da. Right on? Okay. So to finish the shape here on my, get some of this junk out of the way. To finish the shape or to smooth this out, again, you can sandpaper, sand it out if you like. I personally hate sanding. So I've gone to my spoke shave. I'm using a flat one. I'm 1 7/8 inches wide, but I've got 2 inches of blade, so I'm okay. And I'm just real slow working with the grain, right? Just smoothing this out and keeping it square. So I check it as I go, right? After I've kind of once I get the bumps out of it, I'll make my final, I'll say, smoothing pass, and I'll come back with my square and make sure that it's actually flat and squared to the face. So as I clamp all this down, I know everything is going to be perfect. It's going to be smooth, it's going to be flat. All right, when using that, of course, I'm just going with the grain, and I'll work next. I'm going to work this right side down to the center, right? If the final shape is not perfect with the template, that's going to be okay. As long as you're going to have a nice, gentle, smooth curve all the way through, right? If you're off a smidge all the way around, it's not going to hurt anything, right? Same with the back braces. We want to be as close as we can, to the template, but if we're off by just a smidge, it's not going to matter. The important thing that you do need to remember, all these bumps and stuff that we got in here from the bandsaw, we got to get those out. Whatever shape your form is the shape that your laminations will be, to include all of the bumps. So smooth all that out, okay? That's important. All right, so I managed, again, just using some scrap here, or cutoffs, right? Got this glued on, as well as enough here on the two ends. So all I simply have to do now, I'm going to do as I did on the back brace. I'm going to take my compass and just kind of scribe a line across here around the arch to give me a 2-inch space between the top edge and the top of each of my holes, clamp holes. All right, so I just take my compass. I've got it set at 2 inches, and I'm simply just going to follow the edge with the pointy end, leaving a pencil mark on my material. Turn around and go the other way. Okay, so I'm using 1-inch aluminum angle, and I've cut 4 pieces about 6 inches long. And so with my 2-inch circle scribed, and you can make yours, farther. Hal's got his kind of down towards the bottom, so his clamps are pretty much fully extended. Don't see the need to go that far. I've got 2 inches here. That's plenty of meat as a clamping force. So now, just kind of going off of the picture here in the book from the plan, I'm going to space these out kind of evenly. And these are 6 inches long. So I'm going to let it stick up above the top, 2.5, 3 inches. So I'm just kind of evenly spaced. I want to make sure that I leave plenty of room here to the outside of these outer two, kind of out of screen here, but I want to be able to clamp here. So I'm going to leave enough space to get a clamp in here. Same on the other end. And then these two in the middle, I'm just kind of evenly spacing them. And then I'll just take my pencil that I put away. And just hold these in place. And I'm just going to draw a line on either side, just to mark my intended location. That way I don't drill a hole through it. Mark that, and we'll come over here and mark this one. And again, they're just kind of evenly spaced. And of course that's to when we clamp everything down, we'll be clamping all of our pieces horizontally to these to keep everything nice and straight so they're not wiggling around as we're trying to squeeze them together. Right on? So take those, set them aside. As you can see now, I've got all my holes drilled all the way around, looking pretty good. So I'm ready to attach this aluminum angle, and I've decided that 2.5 inch protrusion above the top is probably going to be okay for me. The next thing that I've done, and I marked it on here, I marked that line at 2.5 inches from this end, which would be the top. And then you see the two dimples. I used a center punch, and I came down roughly an inch. Let me go this way. So here's my line. I came down about an inch and made a mark, and then about an inch up from the bottom and made a mark. Remember when drilling metals, you want to get a good center punch before you start so that your drill bit doesn't wander. Groovy? Okay, so once all the holes are drilled, now we just simply line up the line with the top edge, put in the screws. So the screws I'm using are just, these are actually, yeah, that's what I had laying around. All right, so these are some 1/4 inch hex washer head with neoprene bonded washer screws. All right, so these are actually left over from putting the metal roof on this shop. Works fine. It's for metal into wood. That's what these are designed for. That's kind of what I'm doing. But I'm not drilling. They're self-tapping, and they'll drill through some fairly heavy sheet steel on their own. But I went ahead and drilled a hole slightly larger than the screw diameter, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to screw it straight into the wood, and all will be well. You're screwed tight. It's not going to be that important. As long as you got two. All right, there we go. Ready to build a rocker, right? So the next thing I'll do, once I get set up to start cutting the lambs, is I'm going to cut extra laminations, in order to build a backer stack. And the backer stack will be the first test run on this, making sure I've got, obviously adequate holes, which I think I've got more than enough, but to see if I've got the height of this aluminum angle high enough to accommodate the stack and at least the top edge of the backer, to make sure it all will hold in place. So we'll see how that works out when we cut lambs. All right, thanks. And hey, if you like my videos, please remember to hit that like button. It helps me help others. Share some of this information. Thanks again. We'll see you down the road.